Hi friends, it's Michelle Ladd with National Veteran Resources, and today I have the honor of sitting with Mama Lutz from Live to Tell. And if you saw my previous video, I stayed 4 days to come and meet this woman. I've been following her. I love her journey and I love her mission. And I want to thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thank you.
She actually met me in the Walmart parking lot up the road because my GPS died on me and I'm stressed because I'm trying to run all over the place and get to Camping World. So Mama Lutz, you have an incredible organization.
Thank you.
I had one of your fans tell me about you.
Oh, yeah?
And I had to come and meet you.
Oh.
So I'd like you to share a little bit about what your organization is all about.
Okay.
And I'd also like to know why you started your foundation. We all have a reason why we started our foundation.
Yes.
So if you'd like to share first, what motivated you to start your organization?
Well, I have a marine uterus.
Me too.
Yes, you do. We birthed United States Marines, right? And my son served on the front lines of Iraq and Afghanistan. He was medically retired November of 2011. He came home, and my son was visibly different. And, I was a new warfighter mom, and I had no tools to figure it out, really. I mean, I had to figure it out on my own, but I just, I really didn't know anything. I didn't know about the overprescription of pharmaceuticals. I didn't really know anything about post-traumatic stress, or I didn't know any of the signs and symptoms, of when someone starts to disconnect from life. And my son, when he came home, he was on about 18 to 24 different medications. He was basically a zombie, not really enjoying or living life. And the summer of the beginning of 2012, Johnny said to me, "Mom, I want to get off all these meds." And I said, "Great, honey. I've never been one to take medications. That's not something our family does. We believe that our body can heal itself." And so he quit cold turkey with everything, which I don't advise anybody to do. But that's what my son decided to do. He was 23, 24 years old. He was a man,
right.
But we did end up in the hospital about 6 times that week. His blood pressure shot up through the roof, but my son made it through, and he got off everything, and he got off everything except for a low dose of morphine that he would take as needed. That summer we traveled to Colorado, went whitewater rafting and Tennessee, and my son was filled with joy and laughter, and it was a beautiful time. However, at the end of the summer, something triggered his post-traumatic stress, and at 10:30 at night on New Year's Day, my son called me and he said, "Mom, I need you to lock up all the guns, and I need you to take my pain meds, and if I need a pain med, just give me 1 tablet." I said, "Okay, honey." And then on January 4th, which I didn't know at the time, my son went to the VA on Commercial Boulevard in Sunrise, Florida, and his medical records read, "Mr. Lutz presents teary-eyed and well-groomed." He stated that he had his mom lock up his guns, all the guns in the house, and she's controlling his pain meds. And he told this to his psychiatrist, and as the tears run down my son's face, the psychiatrist said, "Well, how are you now, Mr. Lutz?" And he said, "I'm fine." And clearly he wasn't, and a professional should know that he wasn't, after all that information he just said. And "Well, we're going to try you, let's put you on Klonopin." And then he went next door to the back doctor, and that back doctor, who's never seen my son before, put 90 tablets of morphine in my son's hand and increased the dosage by 65%. 8 days later, my son was dead. So the Klonopin, by the way, the VA had prescribed Klonopin to my son 2 previous times, which I found out after the fact. And both of those times, the doctors wrote in my son's chart, "Do not give Mr. Lutz Klonopin." But they never told Johnny, leaving him to believe that his two previous, one previous attempt and one previous suicidal ideations when he was inpatient, the doctors, wrote that in his chart, but never told him, leaving him to believe that he wanted to take his life by his own free will. And, and the family leaving us to believe that too, so there was definitely a miscommunication there. And the Klonopin actually made my son suicide. My son died of pharmaceutically induced suicide. I sued the U.S. government for wrongful death, and I won my case. I know without a shadow of a doubt that many of our veterans out there are dying of the same causation, pharmaceutically induced suicide, just like my son. So I am so anti-pharmaceutical. I really am. It's not the answer to the problem. It's right. A Band-Aid. It's just numbing them. They're not dealing with anything or processing anything. They're just burying it deeper into their soul or into their body, and the pharmaceuticals are not the answer. So after I lost Johnny, and it was about 5 months after that, I woke up one morning and I was very angry. I said, why didn't another mother tell me? Why didn't somebody tell me? I just didn't know, I don't know. I didn't have the tools to receive my warfighter son. I didn't have the knowledge, And it was that day that I said, I'm going to be the voice and I'm going to fight for those who fought for us. And on the 1-year anniversary of my son's death, I had a motorcycle ride to raise awareness. And it was a great ride and very successful. But after that, I said, okay, well, I rose awareness, but what's the solution? What can we really do to make a change, Right. So I started my own foundation. And I really, in the beginning, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to do something. And so I was seeking. I was listening to Boone Cutler. He has a radio show out in Reno called Tipping Point with Boone Cutler. I would listen to him. I would get the language down because really it is, they have their own language, right? So I would learn their language. I would, but again, I didn't know what's the solution to prevent suicide, to get these guys to continue to live, to tell their stories. My niece went on YouTube and she searched PTSD songs or music, and a song by Soldier Heart came on called Red Flags. She said, Aunt Janine, you got to listen to this. So I did, and it was if he was singing about my son and America's sons and daughters. He says they're showing us the signs, but nobody's paying attention. Well, because we don't know the signs, right? But then what Soldier Heart said, and he was speaking to the veterans, and he said, you all need to buddy up. And when I heard that, it grabbed me right here, and I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build local veteran community. I'm going to create the space for them to come, to connect, exchange numbers, get with each other throughout the month. And that's what I started to do. And my first Let's Buddy Up was March of 2014, and 2 male veterans showed up and 2 female veterans showed up. I had more veteran resources there than veterans, and I worked really hard, I was out in the community every weekend, meeting veterans. I'd have a tent set up at some community event, and they'd walk by, and I'm like, are you OIF or OEF? And they'd look at me like, how do you know those terms? And I said, I got a Marine uterus. It's a superpower. I said, no. I said, my son served in Iraq and Afghanistan, so I know the population and the demographic. They basically look the same, right?
Yes.
Same tats, hats, shirts, backpack, flip-flops. And, but I was really disappointed, and I said, maybe this isn't it. So Brian Lupo, who was a 0311, which is an infantry and Marine, he said, no, Janine. He goes, you just keep doing what you're doing. He goes, and I'm going to bring somebody next month. Shep will bring somebody next month. The next month, and the meetings are from 7 to 9. The next month, I was at my little space early, and I actually baked some ziti. So I stuck it in the oven to warm it up. And I realized I'd forgot something, so I raced home to go get what I had forgotten. And when I came back, it was 6:45. And when I opened the door and walked in this little house, there was 25 veterans in the room that never knew each other, and the room was just filled with chatter. And I said, yes. And so now today, 5+ years later, we have over 600 local members. And now we have 9 social clubs across the country. I have 4 in Florida. I have 4 in Mass. That's all being run in Massachusetts by Task Force Vet Visits. That's another organization that I've partnered with.
Great.
And his name is Rocco Bortone. He is incredible. This man has so much energy, and he actually operates 4 of them in Mass. Every week he has a buddy up in Massachusetts. Wow. Totally volunteer. We are all volunteer. Yeah. I partnered with Goodwill Minnesota in Minnesota, Florida, and they run a buddy up. I've partnered with a couple in Daytona, Florida, Mike and Melissa Hoskins, and they've partnered with Destined to Shine. It's a beautiful space with big sectional leather furniture, a pool table, just a beautiful space that this other couple, Diego and Mary, have given us this space for free.
Wow.
And, they again, once a month we get together there with them. And I'm working with some people in Colorado and California, and hopefully we're going to, be up and running there. But we are seeking people across the country to facilitate buddy ups in their community. We have had a 100% success rate with building community, and now we're not only veteran, we're also first responders.
I am so glad to hear that. Guys, we all need to work together to make a difference. It's not just our veterans. Our first responders are dying by suicide every day. And Mama Lutz has created something so incredible. I didn't even know what you have going on to the extent that you have accomplished along with all of these volunteers. And I would love it if Mama Lutz could have a buddy up in every city and every state.
That's our goal, yes.
How can we not all help each other? So I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. Thank you.
How can people reach out to you that want to participate in buddy ups or volunteer their time to help you in any way? How can they reach you?
Well, we are all over social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
What is it called? Because I was looking up, it starts out with Lance Corporal, and then it says Live to Tell.
So if you just put in Lutz,
Lutz,
Lutz.
Okay.
Like in social media, like on Facebook, we have several pages.
Yes.
We have each location has their own page.
Okay.
And then the main one is Lance Corporal, LCPL. It's very long. It's my son's name. Yes. Lance Corporal Janos, Janos.
Okay.
V Lutz, Live to Tell. Or maybe if you just put Live to Tell, it'll populate.
Yeah, I think if they put Live to Tell, it'll pop right up.
Okay. And then wherever we have the buddy up, we have a mobile app that's available for the first responders. Right now, it's only available for the first responders in the community and boots on the ground. So right now, what the app is doing, when first responders meet veterans in Broward County, Florida, in the entire state of Massachusetts, in Manatee County, in Daytona, when they meet veterans in the community, they say, hey, are you connected to any veterans? And the ones that first responders meet are going to be isolating more.
Right.
Okay. So they're going to say, no, I'm really not connected. And well, have you heard about Vet Connect? If we share your information with Vet Connect, and that's just your mobile number, your zip code, your name, your branch of service, they drop that information into the app, and then they get automatically connected with another veteran in their community with the same zip code. And if it's Army, we connect them with Army. If an Army is available in that community. If it's, we try to attach the same branch first, but then if not, it'll be another branch, but it's still military, right? And so we connect with them within 24 hours. And then we meet with them within 3 to 4 days. And then the goal is to bring them into the local chapter of the Buddy Up to a bigger band of brothers and sisters, local resources.
That is,
community. We need each other more than ever. In a time when technology is moving so fast it's really separating us more, because it's so much more easier for people just to send a text, to respond, right? But we need connection.
Right.
We all need connection. I just can't say that enough.
So I'm in the RV last night in the dark. Just I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and so I went to your Facebook page, and the first thing I saw was a video with a police officer talking to a veteran, and that shocked me. So that's the Vet Connect?
Oh, yes, yes.
So you guys go to this Facebook page, or any of the social media. You can Google it as well. Vet Connect is an incredible resource, and so many people are working together, but I can see it doubling and tripling very quickly. I absolutely love what you do, and my everything that I'm saying out there is never give up hope or faith. Guys, men and women, there are so many resources out there, and here is an incredible resource sitting right here, and she wants to help you. And what other needs do you have? What can my audience help you with?
Well, our main goal is to get Lutz Buddy Up everywhere across the country. I have a guide written, and I used to call it a manual, and somebody said, Janine, this isn't a manual. When you say manual, that scares me, right? Manuals are this thick. My guide is just thin, because the Buddy Up, the principle behind Buddy Up is so simple. There's no ulterior motive. It's get people together, provide them with a meal, and let them engage with each other. And we do engagement activities, but we give you all that. We provide you with challenge coins. We print all the schedule cards for the year for you.
Oh.
We provide you also with code check, which is a simple color system that we created. So, for example, if I was out with my son and we were at the movie theater, maybe something triggered his post-traumatic stress, all he has to say is code yellow. So now I know Johnny needs to go home, give him a little space, don't get mad, don't take it personal, don't ask why, just give him his space and let him regroup. But then on the other hand, I tell the families, you should know how long it takes your veteran, or really anybody living with post-traumatic stress, or first responders as well, how long does it take them to come out of that funk, of being, when they get triggered? And you should know, and really it should be getting shorter and shorter, because as we learn our triggers, we realize why that heavy blanket is coming over us, because it's a trigger, right?
Right.
So this process also helps us to learn our triggers and helps our loved ones to learn it. So now the next time you go, maybe that thing will trigger you. Maybe it'll be a little bit shorter, because you know why you're feeling that way.
Right.
But I tell the friends and family, if you think they're in that code yellow a little bit too long, who is their local buddy? Their local veteran, or if it's their local firefighter buddy, because they need to get over there and just be with them. That's all. You don't have to talk, because they already know how they're feeling, because they've walked in each other's shoes.
That's
They know. It's just being there, getting them out of it, right? Then it will never lead to code red. And code red is where we start disconnecting from life and start having suicidal ideations. So code yellow will lead to code red if it's not intervened. It can lead, not will. It can lead to code red if we don't stop it.
That's right.
So again, it's that local connection. Locally connect with your community. But we provide these little cards totally for free across the country to any other organization who would like to share them. We provide them to firefighters, to law enforcement also in the community. It also is a way for them to engage more in the community and share. So we provide that to anybody who's also facilitating a Buddy Up. We provide the printed material. We have a creed that we read. We provide that. But it is on you to go out in your community and find what local resources does your community have to offer for veterans and first responders. So we actively seek those out. I do that here locally, but then my facilitators in the other places, they seek them out and keep them very well.
So, I'm traveling all over the country. I'm stopping at police departments and fire departments. I'm stopping at military organizations and facilities and veteran organizations all over the country. So I'm going to share your organization all over the country. I'm going to ask you somehow, I can't get mail right now because I'm literally on the road, but I would like to get as much information as you would like to give to me to pass out as I'm traveling the country
Okay.
to help you spread the word.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So
That'd be great.
if there's anything else that you would like to share, I'm going to ask everybody. So the best way to reach you, if they want to help out in any way, is to go to social media. What's your website address?
LutzLiveToTell.org.
Okay, that's easy.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they can contact you through email. And is there a direct line that they could, if anyone wants to call in?
Yes.
Okay.
My number is 954-445-1590. Again, that's 954-445-1590. And you can call me anytime. The only time I'm not available is when I'm sleeping. I do put my phone in airplane mode because I need my sleep. And and there's so much out there. There's so much hope out there.
Yes.
And just be open to try healing modalities, yoga, breath work, connected breath. I believe in connected breath so much that I actually became a facilitator. So I'm actually an intern. I can't say facilitator yet. I just have to meet some requirements, like I have to get my CPR and stuff like that. But I am breathing veterans at my home, and I'm seeing beautiful shifts with just our breath. So be open to do some connected breath in your community if you have the opportunity to do it. If you are a veteran or first responder here locally in Fort Lauderdale, call me up and I will give you a private session for absolutely free. And it's a beautiful modality. And, you know, I lost both my children. And I suffered with my own trauma, right? And my own pain and negative thoughts. And it was actually through the breath that I can say that I am on the other side of grief. My heart is filled with love and joy, and I reach that through my breath work.
And I'm also going to share that with the moms and the dads and the wives and the husbands and the brothers, sisters, loved ones that have lost their loved ones that I'm meeting in this RV, because it destroys the families.
Yes,
And
it does.
You've shared your story with me and you've touched my heart, and I'm going to do everything I can to continue my mission so that together we can all make a difference and help change lives. And with all the resources that you're offering, there's no reason that you men and women should suffer the way that you do. There's so many people out there that care so much, that want to help. And this lady right here, I can't thank you enough for all you're doing. So with that said, got to get on my journey, and I appreciate you so much for coming to see me. It meant so much to me. Give me a hug.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
You really are making a difference in this world.
Trying.
And I'm so sorry for your loss, but all the good that you're doing and the lives that you're saving is incredible, and I want to thank you for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay. Gonna say goodbye, guys. God bless.
And I always say, together we will. We can do so much more as a community, right?
That's right. Together we will. Thank you so much.